Good evening, goeienaand, molweni, assalamu alaikum. Prospective applicants, prospective students, thank you for your questions. Tonight we will answer all of them. We've grouped them into themes, and I have two students with me, Miss Nhlapo and Miss Siziba. So they will assist me tonight to answer all of the questions. We might not be answering your specific question tonight, but we will respond to it to address the specific question that you ask. So broadly, we will go through the questions. And one of the things that has raised many questions is the application process. So applications are now open. You submit your application before end of July, and then we will do selections up until the end of September. And then you must remember to accept our offer by end of September. And then if you can only accept one offer for university programs, and then after September we will go into a process, a phase 3 of it, where if you did not get an offer or you were unsuccessful, we will look at it to convert your application to ECP for specific applicants from designated groups. And then look out for those emails if you are unsuccessful, to be converted to ECP, and then that must be accepted before end of December. And then we wait for results, very importantly, in January. And then we have a reconsideration process. So let's say your results improved significantly and now suddenly you meet requirements. Then you can submit a request for reconsideration, and it goes through the same selection process. So you will still be measured according to the selection requirements, and if you meet that, you will receive a new offer which you must accept. Check out the university website and the application portal for the due dates and the time frames that those final offers are valid. Then we received very specific questions regarding our practicals and what we offer. So Ms. Siziba, can you maybe tell us how we prepare our students, or how the practicals fit in with theoretical work?
Okay, so for the different degrees that you get within the science faculty, you'll find that there's practical subjects that you have to go through. So for example, biochemistry, you get a lot of practicals of biochemistry that are incorporated into your classes as well. So you might have a practical week, or you have practicals within, like, every week where you go through your classes and everything is integrated together. So outside of that, also, you are welcome to talk to your faculty managers, and you ask them for assistance, or you can choose to assist them in projects that they're working on to gain more practical experience, but you do get practical experience with every degree.
Thank you very much. Then we have students asking about the NBTs. So for Stellenbosch, for the Faculty of Science, we do not require students to write the NBT test. So for admission, we only use your grade 11 results if you're currently in school, and then we use your final results if you completed school last year. But NBTs is not required for the Faculty of Science. Then there's questions about, I think it's learners currently in school that feel lost and they feel overwhelmed. Ms. Nhlapo, what would you tell them with regards to access to information? What is necessary, or where can they actually look for stuff?
I remember I was also in the same situation. And firstly, I was asking everyone that I could find. So definitely admin. Asking them where I could go in terms of, like, finances, where do I go if I need information about the faculty I'm in. And I found that, well, now I know that I can use the yearbook to get all the information I need regarding my academic program.
Okay, thank you. So that's valuable information. Then there are many of you concerned that your grade 11 results are not looking that good, so you might not meet the requirements that we stipulated. So listen carefully to this advice. So you have 3 choices for programs. Your first choice is that program that you really want. If it's BSc Computer Science, that will be your first choice. But then please also look on the martis.com website or on the science website for other programs that offer computer science. Or you can contact me, science@sun.ac.za, and I will tell you what other programs also offer computer science. You add those programs as an option 2 and then as an option 3. So that's 3 programs on your application. Computer science with the highest selection requirements and the other 2 with lower. So you might get for one of them an offer. And that's very important at this stage to get an offer in this particular selection phase. Because if you have an offer now, you become a priority for us. So you accept your offer, and then you must make sure to meet those requirements so that you can get a final offer. If, however, your results improved and now you meet that requirements of the computer science program, then we can change you. Through the reconsideration process, you submit a request and we can change you to your ideal first choice program. But you still go through a selection process. Then another question from our applicants is regarding double majors. So Mrs. Iba, how do you explain to someone that? Do we offer it? What's going on in the programs?
Okay, so when you get to your final year, which is your 3rd year, you have to choose 2 major subjects. So those are your majors. That's why we have the term double majors. So you get to choose 2 subjects, and you continue those for the rest of the year. And if ever you choose to continue with your postgraduate studies, then that means you have an open field of 2 options that you can either venture into.
That's very important. So all of our programs have 2 major subjects, and that you select when you enter into, or when you select your focal area. There's various options within that focal area for the major subjects. Then also our programs is divided and have specific focal areas. Now when you submit your application, do not add 3 different focal areas on your application, because a program has the same selection requirements. So if you had a specific program and a specific focal area as choice number 1, choose a different focal area, a different program as choice number 2. When you want to change that specific focal area, we can always do that at a later stage or at registration. It's the same program. That's the essential thing of it. Then also our students or our applicants are very concerned about the type of support they get. And in first years, it is quite a change for them from coming from school to university. So Ms. Nhlapo, the question that we got was related to class sizes. And I think somebody might get a shock, and you share those shocks with them.
Okay, so in first year, it's a big class. It can be like an amount of like 1.2 students, like 1,200 students in a class, and it gets smaller as you progress with the years. You could find that you are like now 30 in a class. But when it comes to group projects, it then obviously becomes like small. Within the 1,200 students, you'd find that you are in a group of like 5, depending on the practicals that you have at that time.
Okay. Then students, applicants are asking about the different focal areas. I think I covered that one. So within our programs are divided: physical science, biological science, and then we have interdisciplinary programs which combines a biological subject with either physical science subject or with a mathematical science subject. In those interdisciplinary programs, you have only one major, but it gives you more opportunities into postgrad programs. Then students are concerned, or not concerned, applicants are what is the other one? For the laptops, they want to know what kind of laptops they need, what kind of textbooks they need. Is this something that they should worry about?
No. I mean, having your own laptop is very convenient, but I wouldn't know which one you should get specifically. But if you don't have one, it's not a problem because we have a lot of computer user areas in Stellenbosch. Within the university, there's a library, so getting your work done wouldn't be a problem, but definitely having one is very convenient. Regarding the textbooks, you don't have to pre-buy your textbooks now, because sometimes you might find that the faculty already has like online versions of the textbook. And sometimes they change the versions like every year, so then you might buy now and then later find out that you have to buy a different one. So yeah, most of that you'll find as you get to know what modules you have to do and what's required of you. So you don't have to stress about that right now.
Then our applicants are very concerned about what's happening with the application at the moment. So I think I started with that, but let me just be brief. So applications go through a selection process, and we do that every second week. So you must watch out on the application portal, because that's the only place that we communicate with you. And then you will get an offer from us. But if your programs are in different faculties, they do different processes and different timelines. So you can accept your offer. If you get a new offer from another faculty, you can accept that and decline the previous one. That's how it goes. But remember, by end of September, the offers that you did not accept will expire. And in this faculty, we do not reissue expired offers. We are quite strict on that. And if your offer expired, you will have to wait until January and to submit a request for reconsideration. So that's very important. We did the question about the NBTs. Then there's another question for more mature or people that took a gap year. Or people that were previously enrolled at another university. For the Faculty of Science, you submit your application with your final school leaving results, right? We will do selection based on your school leaving results. If you have an offer with us and you accept that offer to register, then after registration, we will look at your previous higher education record for recognition and for exemption. So that's very important. And that's not done before or during this application and selection stage. Then offer letters, like I said, we do selection every second week, so you must watch out for the offer letters from the Faculty of Science. Then there are many questions. So there's many questions about the 80% cutoff for computer science. I think that makes people very nervous. So I'm going to explain the other programs that offer computer science. So BSc Computer Science has 3 focal areas. It's the general computer science, it is computer systems, and it is data science. So do not confuse this with a BDAT-Sci program. That's a different degree. The BSc Computer Science offers data science as a focal area. So computer science has a selection requirement of 80%. So if you're not there with your grade 11 results, then you could, as a second choice, you could submit your program as BSc Mathematical Sciences, because that is also offering computer science. You could also submit an application for BSc Physics, because that also has computer science in it. And then you could also submit an application for BSc Geoinformatics, which also offers computer science. And mathematical science, physics, and geoinformatics all offer computer science, but has a lower selection requirements. And if you're not meeting the computer science mark now, use that as your second and third choice, and then improve your results, and then ask for a change in January. Then there are some questions about the international curriculum, and Let me just be very clear. So for all of our science programs in biological science and in physical sciences, you need both physics and chemistry, or you need physical science. And then with the international curriculum, your physics and your chemistry must be on AS level. So we do not accept the IGCSE level for either of those subjects. Chemistry and physics, you must have both. The only programs that where chemistry and physics is not required is within mathematical science or within computer science when you do not intend to do physics and chemistry at university. Let me ask these two students if they have any advice for a new applicant stepping into university or the higher education environment. Ms. Ziva?
Sure. I'd say, because it's quite scary transitioning from high school to university. You don't know anyone, you don't know anything about anything, actually. So I'd say just don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's the main thing. Just don't be afraid to ask whoever you see, anyone, your classmates, teachers, anyone, just be open to asking questions, otherwise you're always going to be lost with everything. That's like the first step to everything and figuring everything out. Yeah.
Ms. Nhlapo, what's your advice to students?
I think it's definitely support, like support from your family. Stay in contact with your family, even your friends, because it's not like when you get to university you throw the friends you already have away. So definitely support from family and your friends. Also, do not be afraid to be yourself, and also like figure your way out, because it's not like you get it instantly, but you learn as you go.
That's very valuable advice that you get from students that are at the university. So please follow the advice. From the faculty side, I can also say that later this year we will have the new Generation Martis event, where we bring you to campus and expose you to whatever we offer here. Then after you accepted your final offer and you registered, then we have a 1-week orientation program to prepare you for your first day of class. And that orientation program is very, very important. So many times we heard students are saying that they are lost. And why are they lost? Because they missed out on the orientation program. Then students are asking if they need anything to prepare for university. I think for now the most important thing is to prepare for your mid-year exams, because that's a good indication of what will be coming for your final year exams, and that final year results are most important, that will get you into university. Also remember that for the Faculty of Science we use selection requirements now to give you a conditional offer if you're in grade 12 currently, and then we use your final results again to measure it against the selection requirements, and it must be the same or better to get a final offer, right? And you must accept that final offer to be able to register within the faculty. So we don't do holiday work or to require you to do holiday work before the time. All of it is covered in our programs. Then we have a first year program, Science in Context, that is a support module that exposes students to various support structures within the faculty. And maybe Ms. Nhlapo, you can maybe brief us on, apart from Science in Context, you were in a extended curriculum program. Just elaborate on the type of support that you got in your first year, especially making that transition from school to university quite an easy process for you.
There's psychologists available specifically for the ECP program as well. So I set up a lot of appointments with them because I was struggling to keep up with the amount of work that I had to do, and I couldn't like balance it with exercising and all the necessary stuff. So that really helped me a lot in my ECP program. Yeah, I think also friends, they also helped me a lot. This is one of my closest friends as well. So they help me out a lot, and just like asking different people for help if I'm struggling with literally anything academically.
That's very nice. And then we have, I think we have quite a number of overachievers that apply to this faculty. So they want to know, how do they register for additional modules? And I think that you will maybe say that's maybe ambitious. So let me just brief you on that. So our curriculum are quite structured and it's quite full. You have between 128 and 140 credits in the first year. So you do not have space for additional modules. You barely have time to cope with what you have. So we do not allow our first years to do additional modules. We do not allow them to do extra modules from other faculties. And if a student is applying for that, they must get approval from our academic committee to do so. But it's highly unlikely that we will do that. Then there's a very specific question, and it came up a few times, of students that is having medicine as a first choice, and now they want to know if they're unsuccessful, because they suspect that they will be unsuccessful, how will they go about going from science into medicine? So I'm not going to answer the question, but I'm going to tell you, if science is your second choice and you get selected and an offer for that, that program will most probably become your career, because we will keep you interested, we will expose you to more things, and my students are laughing. We will keep you interested, and you would not want to change after that. That's a science program that gives you access to many more things than just medicine. Then there's a student asking to combine physics with animal science. So that is not possible. Animal science is covered in, or is offered in, the Faculty of Agri-Science. You will get them right after us. And then physics is very specific, offered in physical science, either in chemistry program or in the physics program or in the computer science program or in the mathematical science program. Then there are many questions about residences and finances, so you must just watch out for the program with those general information. So we will not cover any of those. Then a last question, Mrs. Ziba, you currently in a postgrad program. Can you maybe just elaborate how easy or not easy it was for you to transfer from your undergrad program into your postgrad program? How well did we prepare you for that?
Sure. Wasn't easy, but I'd say the undergrad program definitely did give me a heads up, in that now you mostly do your work on your own. You have a supervisor, yes, they guide you in terms of what you have to do and all of that, but it's mostly application of all the things that you did in your undergrad. So if you don't pay attention to your pracs, your theory classes, your tutorials, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because it's literally just application of everything that we do from second year, most of which I don't remember, but it's mostly from second year, third year, everything. It comes together. It comes together, and then you apply all that knowledge to solve a bigger problem in the world. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So there's still questions about change in program. So let me explain. So let's say you already submitted your application now, and you realized just what I said now, that you should change the the programs on your application. So you can still send an email to info@sun.ac.za, and they will be able to assist you to change the programs on your application. If they're taking too long for you, you can also email science@sun, and I will put you into contact with the correct people to make those changes. This can happen up until end of July. After July, then your application went through review, it went through the selection process, and if you have an outcome, then we become more strict with changes. So then we don't change programs anymore. We can change focal areas for you, but if you want to change from, let's say, a program where you were unsuccessful, let's say you were unsuccessful for human life science, and now you realize that you could also have applied for sports science. That kind of changes we don't do after July. So now you must wait until January, and then you submit a request for reconsideration, and we change. In that process, you ask for admission to sports science, and then you go through the whole selection process again to be considered. So our time is running out. I don't know, is there anything you ladies would like to add for our applicants?
I would say, guys, apply. It's nice to be here.
Thank you, that's very warming.
Yeah, do keep those applications coming, guys. You're going to enjoy yourselves, yeah.
Yeah, apart from enjoying, we also get good support in our programs. We have excellent academics, excellent researchers. So any questions, you're most welcome to email me, science@sun.ac.za. Have a good evening, and we will respond to all of those questions that were not asked in the session. Thank you. Goodbye.